Marry me and welcome to the AstroTarot Show. I am your celestial host, Serona Rose, and boy, do I have a lot to talk to you about. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. There is a lot of things to talk about, and one of those I did mention before in one of my last shows, that Mars will actually be playing a pivotal point in our astrology for the rest of the year. Now, on the 30th of October, Mars slowed all the way down, stationed, and presumed a retrograde motion in the sign of Gemini. So, as I discussed in the last show, this could be frustration, this could just be fed up, and we're feeling a lot of this energy. Now, there's a lot of other tension that is going on. We still have the Uranus and Saturn square that we're having to deal with. Again, that is Saturn. That's the conservative. That is the same old. That is the written law and things. And then we have Uranus, which is the liberator. Uranus is all about freedom and it's progressive. So there's a push-pull here. And then we have Mars in Gemini that's going retrograde. So this can lead to a lot of scattered mind. But you see, when a planet goes retrograde, it's very important that we pay attention, because in this motion, the planet is going back through the degrees that they've already traveled. So this means that we miss something. It's kind of like going down a road when you are when you're looking for something, okay? And say you have the directions here and you miss it and you have to go down and then turn around. So the next time you're going back down that same area you've been down, you're looking you're taking your time and you're looking more carefully at where you are going because you've missed something, right? So that is how a planet operates when it's going backwards. Is it's going backwards to let you know that you've missed something. There is something that happened. You were flying too fast and you missed it. So we have to go back and discover what that is. Now, Mars is going to be in Gemini until January of next year. So I want you to, I do want you to look back over at my last one, because I believe that might be wrong. I'm looking in my notes really quick. But the thing here about Mars is that Mars likes to move quick. He's very quick energy. And so is Gemini. Gemini is an air sign and it's very quick as well. It's quick communication. So this is operating where it's all quick. But when he slows down, it can feel like we're getting stuck in some places. And, it feels like we're not going forward, but we are. And the very important thing is that Mars usually doesn't go retrograde, but every 2 years. And it was 2 years ago that he went retrograde. It was in 2020. And I believe he was in the sign of Aries. So yeah, he went, we're going back to that time. But I'm going to touch on that just a moment, because there's some more things that are in play here. With Mars, he will be retrograde for 80 days. So he will end his retrograde motion in January, and he's still going to be in Gemini. So this can be scattered mind, and we have to really be careful not to overcommit ourselves as well. He is also having an aspect with Neptune. And this is where he can get foggy minded. Neptune, I always compare Neptune to Hollywood because it is the place of illusions. It's the place of dreams and fantasies and so forth. So when this is going on, when Mars is, he's not strong going backwards. He's going very slow. He's very frustrated, and he wants to go faster, and he can. It's almost like running in mud. And then he's got this aspect with Neptune that's giving him information as well, but he's not really knowing what to believe with that. So this is really setting us up for the energy, like I stated in our last show. It's really setting us up for the energy of this total lunar eclipse. And again, the lunar eclipses are when the full moons happen, and when we have a new moon, that is when we have a solar eclipse. So this full moon total lunar eclipse will take place in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is all about practicality. He's loyal, can be very Taurus are very headstrong, so they can be very have tunnel vision, and that's one of the things. But with this full moon, this will be at 6:02 a.m. and that's Eastern time. So we will have the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus at 6:02 p.m. and that is Eastern time. Now, of course, this is going to be next to the North Node, and our eclipses they are within that nodal axis. And right now, our North Node, which is where we are going collectively, is in Taurus, and our South Node, which is where we've been collectively, is in Scorpio. So full moons, they represent a culmination. They represent closures, they represent completion, but it's also a new beginning. Because when we have bloomed to our fullest potential, when we have reached our fullest potential, we have reached that end. So of course now it is time to begin a different path. So this full moon is going to shine a light into the shadows. So we can expect more secrets coming out. We can expect something that we wasn't even aware of presenting itself to us. I really feel this is the case. I really feel that there's going to be a lot of things that will come to the surface that we had no idea about. When the sun goes into Scorpio, it's like dredging the bottom of the river. And this is a darkness, I would say, or a realization that may be shocking that we're going to have to go through in order to get to the light. And that is how it is, right? All life begins in the dark. So as the little plant grows, it pushes up towards the light. So we have to go through that, I'll say, incubation moment of that darkness before we get to the light. The North Node is our future collective destiny. And it is creating a space for us, a new beginning. As our South Node is in Scorpio, that is letting go. That is just letting go of the old, of the skin that we need to shed. It's like a skin that we need to shed that is no longer working for us. Now, something very important I want us to remember, this eclipse is going to be a pretty long one. This will actually, the totality will be 1 hour and 25 minutes, but the whole event will be 6 hours. So this is You know, this reading and the past reading, there's a lot of things that are happening that are really pushing us out of the past and into the new. There are 6 planets in fixed signs, and that is very important because our fixed signs are those that are not movable. They dig their heels in, and they will not move for anything. Yeah, they want their way, they want their voice to be heard, and this can cause a lot of problems when we are trying to live in harmony, right? So we have 6 planets, and that is Mercury, the Sun, and Venus are in Scorpio. Yes, I hope you did catch the goddess's descent that I posted. Venus going into the underworld, and she's passing through these 7 gates where she has to release or let go of her material possessions, and she is stripped down to the bare of who she is. So that is having to release those conditionings and those patterns that have been placed upon her. She's having to dissolve those. She's having to let them go into the underworld and reveal who she really is. Again, it's a shedding of skin. Also, the Mercury, Sun, and Venus in Scorpio is going to be squaring Saturn in Aquarius, which is a fixed sign, as well as Uranus and the Moon, and of course our nodal axis, our north node in Scorpio, and our north node in Taurus, and our south node in Scorpio. So those are fixed signs, and that means they're not movable. And this is the problem that we're having, because this is creating a really big buildup in energy that will affect all of us, because it has nowhere to go. It's like my way, no, my way. They're digging their heels in, and there's no wiggle room. And this is going to cause a lot of frustration and angst to bubble up beneath the surface. And when we combine it with the Saturn and Uranus square, yeah, that's push pull. And luckily we do have Jupiter that is in between Uranus and Saturn, that's kind of trying to buffer that. It's trying to buffer that energy. And I do see that, you know, while this is happening, I feel like it's a surging energy, and it has nowhere to go. Also, you know, we can look at our earthquakes, things that would happen to our earth. We need to pay attention to that. We need to, and that's what this causes. This causes an uneasy. This energy is unstable energy. So it's going to impact our earth as well as ourselves. Remember, it's energy. So yeah, it's going to affect the earth as well as society. So remember to stay grounded. It's going to be very important to stay grounded. We have here the past versus the future. And that's really hard, because as we get on into November, we're going to see more changes occur. And it has to happen. This has to happen. This is happening for the good of all. Pluto is moving through the last degrees of Capricorn. Remember, the United States is having its Pluto return. And that means the Pluto is where it was when the United States was formed in 1776. So I did a birth chart for that. I know it's on one of my older posts. You can find that on my sites. But with this is saying that, you know, in Capricorn rules government. It rules big businesses, those top power structures. And when Pluto comes in, well, Pluto's the underworld, right? He destroys in order to create. And he is saying there's some stuff here that needs to go. And we can see this worldwide in our government. It's not just in the United States, because these aspects that we are having are affecting other countries. I just report for the United States because this is where I live. But I will tell you, if you look around the world, you can see changes happening in government. Germany has changed. England has changed. There are different protesting that is going on in different countries. So we have to see that change is there. And Pluto will continue to break down these establishments, these, top power structured establishments. And it will continue to happen if they are not in the highest good for humanity. Not for one person here or this group or that group. This is about humanity, because the division has to come to an end. And we have to see how this has been filtered into us, and we have to step back and be observers a little bit and watch how this is playing out. I really urge you to not react to all of this angst and anger. Make sure you're grounding it. If you're an energy worker, you know how important energy is. So if we are wanting to have a better future, we have to do something about it. That's why it begins with us. We have to take care of that. Again, if these structures do not have the highest good for society, they will continue to crumble down. And we are seeing some of those businesses, or I should say nonprofits, we are starting to see a bunch of those have issues. So with the moon at 16 degrees of Taurus, we are going to look at money and banking, at wealth, excuse me, as well as safety and security. This is with the moon in Taurus. This is going to be our fundamental security, our needs, the things that we need in our life. This is also connected to the stock market, other kinds of investments, mortgages. It will touch on mortgages. But this is also going to be a time that you may have to face a fear that is so deep within you that you may not have known you had. Again, this full moon is shining a light into the darkness. So it's going to light up those shadows. So everything that's hidden there is going to get the light. And again, we're going to have to go through the dark to see the light. Taurus is also very practical, and this is about nature. Getting out in nature is going to be really good for us. Grounding in Mother Earth, putting our bare feet on her or laying down on her. That's going to be very important, because with Mercury is also in Scorpio, is going to be opposing Uranus. And Mercury can be about secrets as well. Again, he's communication. So he can be about secrets. And Uranus, actually, although he likes to shake things up, he wants clarity. He shakes things up for clarity. He says, you know what? This isn't working anymore. We're going to have to shake this up. There's something here. There's lies here. There's deceit here. We've got to shake this up, get rid of it. We want truth. We want clarity. We want clarity here. We want to be to have a firm understanding of what is going on. Uranus is about surprises too. So you can be expecting more shocking news coming out, more secrets being brought to the surface. They may be very shocking. Again, this energy is highly unstable, so we need to pay attention to that. with this pushing and pulling with Uranus, it could impact free speech again. We could see more silencing of the masses and censorship, things like that. So if we're having these deeply hidden, these deep, dark, hidden secrets coming out, to the public, to the surface, of course, there will be something coming back that will, censor that communication or suppress the facts. So we have to be careful of that. Excuse me, I'm having issues with my throat. Also, relationships could be very intense at this time. Venus is in Scorpio. So, this could tap into relationships, a jealousy, possession, being very possessive. This could also go into secrets as well. And I want to go back again to to Mars, because I think this is very important. Mars is going to have a quincunx with Pluto, and basically it's just like a 150-degree angle. So this is Mars in Gemini is individual power, and when we have Pluto in Capricorn, that is like state power. So Mars right now is barely moving, and it feels like that we're not going anywhere. And he likes to move quick. So things may not be working as fast as we want them to, and that relation. But with the square with Neptune, again, we're going to have to be careful, because this is going to bring confusion. We can see through... we can see that with the scattered mindness that Mars get, we can overcommit ourselves, but we really need to pay attention to the information that we're getting. We really need to pay attention to that. We need to trust our heart, listen to our heart and our gut. That's going to be very important. Now, this energy is really good for those of you that are wanting to tap into the body and to get more in touch with your body, to get healthier. This is a good time to start yoga. If you wanted to start some kind of meditation type of exercise, this is a good time to start Qigong. That is wonderful. It has wonderful movements. If you like working with energy, that is the best way to go. I just enjoy that. I enjoy the movement of the energy. Also, Tai Chi, that is really good to start. So those are some places that you can look at that will really help you get past the brain fog and get into your body. That is really what you want to do, is get into your body and feel your body. Feel your thoughts. Are these your thoughts? Are these impressions that are put on you from elsewhere? It's hard to find truth right now in our world, especially within our mainstream media, because if you look at it yourself, it is like two different universes. I mean, this are realities. They're just two worlds, really. It's two different worlds because of what they are talking about. Excuse me. So again, don't get distracted. Stay in your body. Keep your focus on what you are trying to do. It may be slower, but know that you are making progress. Just remember, there's something that you've missed and you need to find it, and this is where you're going to find it. Now, another good thing that we have with Jupiter is that he is going to be at 0 degrees of Aries, and this is what they call this is what he calls it's like he is on the world axis. And what this is at 0 degrees of Aries, this is the beginning of a cardinal sign. And a cardinal sign is basically when a shift happens within that. So like Aries, we have Ostara, or the spring equinox, right? So this is actually really, really good because um, it gives us really good energy for, you know, the self and for starting things. But I will say that whatever comes out of these secrets and the things that all the stuff that Scorpio is bringing up to the surface is going to be center stage. There's going to be a spotlight on it. Pluto never does anything little. He is always big and proud, and he brings everything to the table and says, look. So this is going to be, I can say this is going to be a shocking time for some. It's going to be, you know, secrets revealed. And you know, this could go into your relationships too because of Venus being in Scorpio. Now, remember that eclipses can bring permanent change. And solar eclipse on the 25th of October that had some very important aspects for other countries, and especially concerning governments and institutions, those structures that have top power. So I want to reiterate again that this may not happen overnight. Things don't happen overnight. We have to understand the difference between mundane time and the other time, because it is an unfolding. It is an unfolding of events that tell a story. And that's what astrology does. It kind of helps us. We go back and we look and we see patterns. We see these different patterns that are happening. And the last time this happened, this is what happened. Well, the last time that Mars went retrograde was September of 2020. What was going on then? You know, we can go back to that time and see what happened. It will be, again, it will be for days to come. And, you know, we really have to release that instant gratification thought of everything has to happen yesterday. We have to understand that things take time. And our world that we live in, it doesn't support that because it constantly wants us rushing from this place to that place to that place. But that is not how time does. Do you see a flower rush to bloom? Do you see a butterfly rush to get out of its little chrysalis? Do you see that? No, it is time. It's experiential. So we have to really tap into ourselves. We have to get into our body because this is bringing us to self-mastery. And we have to learn how to differentiate our thoughts and our feelings from the outside world. Whereas the goddess, when she is going through the underworld, when she has to release her crown, she's releasing her title, right? She's releasing a part that describes her, but she's only seeing that crown is just an object. It's like the Emperor card. In order to be a warrior, you have to learn self-mastery. It's the power is not in your tools. It is in the self. It is within you. And that is what we really have to remember. And sometimes we have to go through the dark part. We have to see the problems in order to fix it, right? We have to acknowledge those things that are causing us to have this disharmony in order to bring it to the light so we can, you know, fix it and heal it or what have you to bring harmony back. Mercury, the messenger, he's the deliverer of news and secrets. And I'm going to tell you, he's going to be giving news to the collective that will be shocking. Mercury, we have his placement. He is the magician and he's also the psychopomp, right? He was able to take the souls to and from the underworld. And, you know, he has that free pass. And Scorpio is a wonderful investigator. Scorpio loves to find out what's going on. He loves to find, um, he loves to dig deep and reveal to everyone what was hidden, what was in the shadows. And then he likes to straighten it out so we can get back on the right track. So Mercury is the art of the deal as well. So hopefully there can be some deals that happen that will bring harmony, a step of harmony back to our world. We have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of people that need to step up to their highest potential and take the, take the, do the highest good for the self. If we want change, we have to be it. On the 8th, I want to bring this back, because on the 8th, now the Mercury is going to meet up with the Sun, and that is called a Cazimi, a Cazimi, Cazimi, and that is where the Mercury and the Sun, they come right together. They're conjunct. They'll meet up. So in this, he is really going to be telling the Sun about some secrets, and going to be bringing all of that out into the open. My grandmother always told me that it'll all come out the wash, and that's true. That is true. It'll all come out in the wash. But that which is being hidden is going to come out to the surface. So I do want to say that Athena is in this as well. She's in Cancer, so she's not in her warrior. She's going to be more of the investigator and more of the have knowledge and wisdom. Also, she'll be meeting up with Pluto. She'll be trying Jupiter and Neptune and Venus. So yeah, something new is definitely going to come through this. By the mid of the month, we're going to have some truth coming out. So if it's not good for humanity, for the whole of humanity, it's going to keep crumbling. So I'm going to close it there, as I am running out of time. There is a lot. I wish I had more time to tell you. We could talk about this on and on. But please stay tuned for the reading. I will be doing a tarot reading as well as a reading with the dice, the astroglomancy, I'm sorry. It's astroglomancy, reading with dice. So stay tuned and listen to the reading, and we'll see how all this ties in. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you in a few minutes.